Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to Barcelona for the final qualifying session of the International GT Open season. We should be in for a good one because the championship is on the line as you join myself, Ben Evans, on a beautiful morning here at the home of the Spanish Grand Prix, because today we have got a straight shootout between Michael Mack, the championship leader, who is 8 points clear in his Luzic Racing Ferrari, of the Teo Martin Motorsport BMW of Fran Rueda and Andres Saravia. And so, to put it very, very simply, if Rueda and Saravia finish in third place, and Michael Mack and Alessandro Qualy, with whom we ride now, finish out of the points, then the BMW wins the championship. If the BMW finishes second and the Ferrari finishes 8th or 9th, then the BMW wins the championship. And if the BMW wins the race, then a result of 5th or lower for the Ferrari would give the BMW the crown. So essentially, for Michael Mack and Alessandro Qualy, if they finish in the top 4 today, there is nothing that would stop them claiming the title. For the Teo Martin Motorsport BMW pairing, they have to finish in the top 3 and hope that other results really go their way. As we watch Mateusz Lizowski, who finished yesterday's race in slightly inglorious fashion in the Olymp Racing Audi. Provoking a late safety car. And there is Ollie Wilkinson at the wheel of the Optimum Motorsport Audi, who also had a tough afternoon of it yesterday. The race yesterday was claimed, though, by the Ombra Racing Lamborghini of Andrea Rizzoli and Damiano Fioravanti. Now that is a very good sight to see Alberto Di Folco in the Target Racing Lamborghini after that car caught fire with Adrian Zaug at the wheel yesterday. Russell Ward in the Winwood Racing HTP Motorsport Mercedes, one of the new entries for this weekend. Huge 30-car entry, and indications are that all 30 of them made it out on track for this session. So here is Fran Rueda in the Teo Martin Motorsport BMW. And this qualifying session, all important. Yesterday, Andres Saravia qualified in 16th position, and Rueda was able to make a little bit of ground up late on, but the timings of the safety cars really worked against the BMW pairing. So they finished outside of the points. Although they finished runners up yesterday, Giovanni Venturini and Jerome Mull in the Imperiale Racing Lamborghini are eliminated from the title fight coming in to today, as Fran Rueda heads out onto a flying lap now. And this is the home track for the Spaniard, of course. And he will feel confident in really pushing the BMW. So he accelerates out of turn 3 towards turn 4. And Rueda, a good first sector. 29.6 for him in the first sector. The other championship, of course, that's open today is the Pro-Am Championship, and that is being led by Miguel Ramos and Fabrizio Cristani, and as long as they finish in the top 3 in the Pro-Am class, they've won the crown. Their main rivals, Valentin Pierberg and Thomas Locol, would have to finish in the top 3 to wrestle it from them and then hope that results go their way. So Pierberg and Onslow Cole, they finished 3rd overall yesterday. They won the Pro-Am class, which means they have got the success handicap in the pits to contend with as well. So Fran Rueda, we've seen this a couple of times this year, always out of the blocks quickly in qualifying. What about Alessandro Qualy? And Qualy in the Luzic Racing Ferrari had a very, very strong race yesterday. Here, Michael Mack, again, overcoming substantial handicap seconds, exacerbated by a safety car that took us right up to the edge of the pit window. As Fran Rueda comes past us and goes quickest, but not for long. as Mateusz Lizowski is top of the times, 1 minute 45.073. Michele Rugolo in another of the Luzik Racing Ferraris goes second, a 1:45.168. Fran Rueda then third, a 1 minute 45.262. Alessandro Pierguidi has been in traffic on this lap, but he's currently fourth, ahead of Philip Deans. So they have got half an hour to play with. What we don't know, as Pierguidi peels into the pit lane, is what the situation is with their allocation of Michelin tyres, because all of the teams, they get their 4 sets of Michelin tyres to manage through the weekend, and some of the teams will have used up plenty of fresh tyres yesterday to get a good grid position, others to get a good result. There'll be others who will possibly be keeping something in store for today. So Pierguidi peels to a halt, and that is Lucas Auer through the gravel trap in the DriveX Mercedes. Now, he had adventures late on in the race yesterday when the bonnet on his car flew up and forced him to come to a fairly abrupt halt as a result of that. Here's Russell Ward in the Moonwood Racing Mercedes. Car that he shared with Indy Doncia, and it was a car that was up there yesterday. Also, again, maybe not getting the rub of the green with some of the safety cars, but he's currently in 7th place now. It's Philip Deans who has gone quickest. Portiero Motorsport Mercedes. Here is the Miguel Sardinia piloted Sport and New Mercedes. Again, one of the perennially front-running cars in the AM class. Here is Deans, another of the AM class runners. Charles Finelli, his co-driver, unfortunately had a couple of adventures along the way yesterday, which meant that Deans didn't really get a chance maybe to show his true pace, but at the moment, a 1 minute 44.967 is good enough to see him top the times. Andrea Rizzoli, meanwhile, yesterday's race winner in the Umbra Racing Lamborghini, is flying. He's currently 24th overall, having not really set a flying lap. He's gone quicker than anybody through the first sector, as Deans comes to the end of this tour, doesn't improve. And here is Rizzoli. He and Fioravanti scoring a very fine win yesterday. They managed the race absolutely beautifully. Good qualifying, good race management. And it did the job absolutely perfectly. So third of the session completed, and Rizzoli comes through, 1 minute 44.2, and that is a bit of a marker for the rest of them now. So Andrea Rizzoli moves the top of the times. Lucas Auer in the DriveX Mercedes then into 2nd place, a 1 minute 44.852, and we are starting to see some of the times to begin to pop in now. Still a lot of very, very quick drivers who've not shown their hand. And also with 30-odd cars out on track, finding some track space is going to be tricky. Alberto Di Folco didn't even get to race yesterday after the elimination of Adrian Zaug, so he has got a point to prove in the Target Racing Lamborghini. And Di Folco, I think, on a bit of an outlap here. Then is Fran Rueda, Matteo Marti Motorsport BMW. Need to find some clear air as Mikkel Jensen goes second now in the Senkia BMW that he shares with Richard Gonda, and Mikkel Jensen making a last gasp manoeuvre on Alessandro Pierguidi yesterday afternoon, taking a couple of points off Pierguidi in the very, very late stages of the race. It's the Stefano Constantini piloted Target Lamborghini, and Constantini, who did all of yesterday's race single-handedly after Christoph Lenz, his planned co-driver, was taken poorly. And Constantini winning the AM class as well, 15th overall at the moment. As he peels downhill, we pick up the progress of Raffaele Gianmaria in one of the trio of Imperiale Racing Lamborghinis, and Gianmaria potentially is going to set the fast time of the session as he comes out to the final turn, and it goes away from a little bit in the final sector, but a 1 minute 44.5 for Gianmaria. We've now got the top four separated by just 0.2 of a second as Daniele Diamato in the RS Racing Ferrari has popped up into third place. So the order is Rizzoli from Jensen, Diamato, Gianmaria. Alessandro Pierguidi is in 14th at the moment, Fran Rueda in 10th. As I said, right at the start of the session, in order for the BMW to snatch the championship away from Michael Mack in the Lusit Racing Ferrari, Fran Rueda and Andres Ravi have got to finish in the top three. And Rueda is on an outlap now, so he's going for another run. Meanwhile, Juan Cruz Alvarez flashes through and goes fastest in the Teo Martin Motorsport BMW, so the pace is there in the car, a 1 minute 44.281. And potentially important as well, with an eye towards the championship, that the BMWs can be flying in formation a little bit at the front of the field, as Alessandro Pierguidi now goes quickest, with Giovanni Venturini also popping up to the second. Thomas Jaeger goes third in the Lechner Racing Mercedes. So the championship fight really is alive here, as Pierguidi almost 0.2 quicker than the rest of them. So now it's very much a case of over to you, Fran Rueda. What can you do? And the answer is that Rueda, as we watch Gianmaria coming through, can tell you that Fran Rueda has just set the fastest first sector of anybody in the session, as Gianmaria slots into third position. And he heads down towards turn one. And this session, as we approach the halfway point, really coming to life. So in car with Fran Rueda, he's just approaching turn 9 now as he navigates. He's pursuing Thomas Jaeger, and Rueda 0.2 up on Alessandro Pierguidi through sector 1. Comes in sector 2. He's improving still. He's 3.5 up on Alessandro Pierguidi. Will we get the two title rivals starting on the front row of the grid together at the moment? And if this lap holds together, that is going to be the interim position. As Alessandro Pierguidi accelerates through the final turn, this might be a fractional improvement for the Ferrari. Let's see. So Pierguidi through. He doesn't improve. Thomas Jaeger's going to be the next car across the line, who does improve. He goes second for Jaeger, and Rueda takes pole. So Fran Rueda moves into pole position in the Teo Martin Motorsport BMW. A 1 minute 43.527. It's a quarter of a second up over Pierguidi. The second row at the moment is Thomas Jaeger and Giovanni Venturini, ahead of Raffaele Gianmaria and Juan Cruz Alvarez. We have got a disallowed time for Stefano Constantini. But now, well, does it matter? Is it essential for the Lusit Racing Ferrari to start from pole position? As long as they can keep the BMW in sight, then that would be enough to give Michael Mack the title. Fran Rueda, he's backed out of it on this lap. You just see from the position of the car, he's certainly not quite at qualifying at that pace at the moment. But then again, Fran Rueda is always so smooth at the wheel of the BMW. But was well off the running through the first sector. Alessandro Pierguidi also off the running so far on this lap. There may be a little bit of an improvement though from Thomas Jaeger. Waiting for Jaeger to come past us. We've got the three fastest cars in the session. They're all together on the track at the moment, and I'm half watching the monitors, half watching them out of the window. because, quite frankly, it makes a wonderful sight on a sunny Sunday morning to watch these supercars out on track as Qualy is through, Jaeger is through and doesn't improve, and Fran Rueda can now line up for a flying lap, and he's got relatively clear track around him. So pounding down the start and finish straight for Fran Rueda. Can he find more of an improvement as Giovanni Venturini slots into second position? A 1 minute 43.647 for Venturini. 13 3/4 minutes to go here. Set the grid for the final race of the International GT Open season as we watch Riccardo Agostini heading down towards turn 1. Giovanni Venturini is number 63. This is the 25 car of Riccardo Agostini. He's just gone up into 10th position as Raffaele Gianmaria peels into the pit lane. So they're all going to gather their energies, and if they've got the tyres available to them, then they can consider one more run. Daniele Diamato, the RS Racing Ferrari, he is currently in 8th place. And Rueda not on an improved lap time at the moment either. Here is Kang Ling, the wheel of the Vincenzo Sospiri Racing Lamborghini. It's partnered by Phil Keane this weekend, as Guilherme Salas has just gone 6th to take AM class provisional pole in the 3rd of the Teo Martin Motorsport BMWs. So we've got all 3 of the Teo Martin Motorsport BMWs inside the top 7 at the moment. And this is exciting stuff. Qualy and Jaeger both into the pits in front of us, as is Fran Rueda. So surely they are going to be going for one more run apiece. Meanwhile, Guilherme Salas, as we watch Kang Ling, is on a good lap. Ling a little bit adrift of his very best at the moment. It's been a good weekend so far for the Vincenzo Sospiri Racing team, with success in the AM Class Championship yesterday for Giulio Borlenghi and Andrei Lewandowski. Has rolled into position then. Alessandro Qualy. Now Qualy won't be in position to claim the title, by the way, because he missed out on a round earlier in the season. I think it was Paul Ricard, where Marco Ciocci partnered Michael Mack, and that's why Mack is heading solo for the championship, as we catch up with the progress of the Olymp Racing, one of the brace of Olymp Racing Audis, and that the number 5 car in the hands of Stanislav Jedlinski, currently 29th overall. As he powers through, car that I'm keeping an eye on, there it is in the back of your picture, Guilherme Salas in the Teo Martin Motorsport BMW, doesn't quite improve. He was up on himself through the first 2 sectors, but he's gone away. He had a poor final sector. Otherwise, that would have been a lap from Salas that would have put him probably up onto the 2nd row of the grid. It's Marco Ciocci there on the left-hand side of your picture. I think it's Michael Mack, if you were to turn around for us, on the right. And they watch anxiously. So, of the top 15 cars, only 3 of them are currently circulating. One of them is this man, Riccardo Agostini. Now, he and Rick Broikers finished first on the road yesterday, but a 5-second penalty actually saw them shuffled somewhere down the field because the late safety car bunched the pack, and the 5 seconds therefore rather hurt them. So, second car in the picture there, that is Miguel Ramos in the Lazarus Lamborghini Huracan. Daika Lazarus team, Ramos and Fabrizio Cristani, they lead the Pro-Am Championship. They've got a 6-point advantage over Valentin Pierberg and Tom Onslow Cole coming to today's race, but there also is the dropped score to take into account for Ramos and Cristani, because they've actually not finished outside the points in any race this year in the Pro-Am Championship. But essentially, if they finish in the top 3 in the class, or if Pierberg and Onslow Cole don't finish in the top 3, then the Pro-Am Championship is theirs. Miguel Ramos, he's currently in 14th place. The car of Valentin Pierberg, their main rival, is a fair bit further down the order. It's outside the top 24, 26th at the moment for Valentin Pierberg. No, it's not, goes 22nd, just improves, a 1 minute 45.365. And here is Pierberg. This car, of course, on pole position yesterday in the hands of Tom Onslow-Coles. It's a very, very well-sorted package, this, the SPS Automotive Mercedes. Valentin Pierberg is caught behind Stanislav Jedlinski through turn 3, and that has cost Pierberg on this lap, I rather fear. Indeed it has. About 0.6 of a second for my money through the first sector. So Thomas Jaeger and Michele Rugolo out on track, and Rugolo, in fact, has just gone 5th in the Luzic Racing Ferrari. So we have got 3 Luzic Racing Ferraris in the field, 3 Teo Martin Motorsport BMWs in the field, and 5 of those cars are currently in the top 9 places. The sole outlier is Matt Griffin, who has just emerged from the pits onto a flying run. Michele Rugolo, as we continue to follow Valentin Pierberg, is on what continues to be a good lap in the Luzic Racing Ferrari. He does his best through the first sector. Rinat Salakov, meanwhile, goes 15th in Rinaldi Racing Ferrari. 7.5 minutes to run. Fran Rueda, Giovanni Venturini and Alessandro Pierguidi are all in the pits. Pierberg coming to the end of this lap, and about 20 seconds after he comes over the line, Michele Rugolo is going to come past us, and Rugolo, by my admittedly shonky maths, might improve from 5th position. Watching the background, here is Thomas Jaeger on an outlap in the Lettner Racing Mercedes. Looking to get himself a little bit of track space as Andrea Rizzoli powers through, and Rugolo has come past but didn't improve. It all went away from him through the final sector. Lost about 6 seconds or so. So Jaeger is in 4th. He's only 0.3 of a second adrift of pole. And this is great fun, isn't it? 6.5 minutes to go. And you would suggest probably any one of about 10 cars could come through and take pole position. This lap for Jaeger. A little bit off through the first sector. But this is first flying lap of the run, so he's going to get a couple of opportunities at this, as now everybody out on the track. So Rueda and Venturini have taken to the circuit. Really is going to be a shootout, the final 5 minutes or so of qualifying for the season, and well, you could not ask for any more than this. It is absolutely wonderful as Fran Rueda still in pole position from Giovanni Venturini. Alessandro Pierguidi in the championship leading Luzic Racing Ferrari in 3rd place. Meanwhile, here is Sauer in the DriveX Mercedes, partnering Christian Hahn this weekend. Hahn making the step up to the GT Open from the Euro Formula Open. DriveX Mercedes currently in 17th place, but on a good lap. Alessandro Pierguidi also on a good lap. And Raffaele Giammaria is on a phenomenal lap at the moment in the Imperiale Racing Lamborghini. Giammaria has just set the fastest middle sector of anybody. Alessandro Pierguidi also on a good lap too. So Giammaria from the commentary box, as we watch the DriveX Mercedes, is through turn 13 and into the chicane. Andrea Rizzoli also pressing onwards, as is Riccardo Agostini. And Agostini's now done the fastest middle sector of anybody in this session. as Gianmaria goes quickest. Raffaele Gianmaria takes provisional pole position by 29 thousandths of a second. So Gianmaria to the top of the times. And that order is going to shuffle. We're watching Agostini, who is also up on everybody at the moment, as Agostini goes second. Riccardo Agostini goes second, 24 thousandths of a second off pole. There he is. And Giovanni Venturini on a good lap as Pierre Guidi goes fastest. Alessandro Pierre Guidi now moves to the top of the times. Lucas Auer goes second in the Mercedes. Gianmaria third, Agostini fourth. And Fran Rueda has just posted the best first sector of anybody in qualifying as we ride in car with the Spaniard. And he is pursuing Mercedes, which is weaving about, warming up its tyres. Rueda comes to the end of the second sector. He's still up a little bit into turn 12. Is the Mercedes going to distract him? I don't think it has yet. Lucas Auer on another very, very good lap. So is Alessandro Pierre Guidi. 1 minute 43.425 is the benchmark to beat. But they're all within about a tenth of a second of each other. Minuscule improvements will do this here. As Rueda goes top, a 1 minute 43.1 for Fran Rueda, and that is 0.3 of a second faster than everybody else. So Rueda gaps the rest of the field. But can his teammates get up there in and amongst the Ferraris as well? Because Juan Cruz Alvarez is currently in 12th place. Thomas Jaeger is now putting in some purple sectors. So is Giovanni Venturini. So the order is Fran Rueda from Alessandro Pierre Guidi, then Lucas Auer. Raffaele Gianmaria is fourth, Agostini fifth, but here is Jaeger, who was almost 0.05 of a second up through the first sector. Breaks down into turn 10. Oh, he's just 15 thousandths adrift of that provisional pole, but it's going to be enough for second. No, it's not, as Guilherme Salas in the Teo Martin Motorsport BMW goes second, so it's an all Teo Martin front row now. No, it's not. Venturini goes second with a 1 minute 43.2 for Giovanni Venturini. Now, what can Thomas Jaeger do in amongst all of this, who has just been shuffled down to 9th place as the Lettner Racing Mercedes accelerates through, and Jaeger has to settle for 6th position. So the lap going away a little bit from Thomas Jaeger in the latter stages. So the order is Fran Rueda from Giovanni Venturini, then Guilherme Salas, Alessandro Pierre Guidi's fourth, Lucas Auer fifth, Thomas Jaeger 6th, Raffaele Gianmaria 7th, Riccardo Agostini 8th, Andrea Rizzoli 9th, Mikkel Jensen is 10th. And Thomas Jaeger, there is more to come. He just does the fastest first sector of anybody. And this is going to be, I think, his last lap of the session. Less than a minute to run. He and Mikkel Jensen in the Senkia Motorsport BMW, the only two drivers who are looking likely to make improvements inside the top 10. But the top 8 cars separated by just 0.4 of a second at the moment. Rueda on pole by 87 thousandths of a second. This is setting us up wonderfully for the championship decider later on this afternoon. Jaeger a little bit adrift through the middle sector. The clock ticking down. He will come through to take the checkered flag. Not that far adrift though, is he? 76 thousandths of a second. It would still be good enough to give Jaeger second on the grid. Mikkel Jensen also on a very, very good lap that should be enough to slot him into about 4th if he can sustain it. So first of all, here comes Thomas Jaeger. He takes the checkered flag and improves his time, but is not his grid position. He remains in 6th place, so it's just the Senkia Motorsport BMW now of Mikkel Jensen, who peels into the pit lane. So it is going to be pole position for Fran Rueda. He's coming through to the end of this lap. Doesn't need to complete it. There's nobody who's looking at all like they're going to pip him. Well, a top 3 finish is essential for the Teo Martin Motorsport BMW. And the team principal, Teo Martin, half the job is done from Fran Rueda. We've got one more quick lap that is going to come to a close. That's Daniele Di Amato in the RS Racing Ferrari, who is up through the first couple of sectors, and Di Amato goes 10th as a result of those efforts. Well, our considered professional advice would be cancel whatever plans you had for about 2 o'clock Central European time this afternoon, unless it was to watch this race, because it looks like it is going to be an absolutely thrilling finale for the season. Look at the euphoria from the Teo Martin Motorsport mechanics. Their man, Fran Rueda, has done the job. He will start the title decider from pole position. He shares the front row of the grid with Giovanni Venturini. His teammate Guilherme Salas lines up in 3rd, with Alessandro Pierguidi in the championship leading Lusit Racing Ferrari to start 4th. What an absolutely sensational qualifying session that was. Fran Rueda on pole then by 87 thousandths of a second. Nothing in it. Here's a look then at how they qualified. Rueda from Venturini, then Guilherme Salas in the Teo Martin Motorsport BMW. Alessandro Pierguidi to start from 4th in the car that he shares with the title leader Michael Mack. Lucas Auer starting 5th alongside Thomas Jaeger. Raffaele Gianmaria and Riccardo Agostini, and all Imperiale Racing row 4 ahead of yesterday's race winner Andrea Rizzoli and Daniele Di Amato, who completes the top 10. Still lots of very, very quick drivers. Further on down through the order, starting with 11th place, Mikkel Jensen, his best lap of the session. He had to abort at the very end. Michele Rugolo then in 12th, ahead of Philip Deans and Juan Cruz Alvarez. Matt Griffin and Alberto Di Folco 15th and 16th from Mateusz Lazowski and Kang Ling, and then Giulio Borlenki and Russell Ward. So the green flag lap is 10 past 2 this afternoon here in Barcelona. Do make sure you join us for it. 30 cars in action to decide the destiny of the International GT Open Championship. We'll see you then.
Fran Rueda